Hey there guys, what's happening? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak about a pretty serious topic of cyberbullying. Now, I've experienced cyberbullying myself, as well as noticing others who've come to my office, different patients that I've had who have faced cyberbullying issues. And it's definitely not easy to cope with. It might seem like, oh, in an internet age, everybody gets cyberbullied. We should just ignore it, all of this stuff. But it's quite difficult to ignore if, let's say, you are an internet streamer or a YouTuber or somebody who is big in this niche or industry. I'm sure you get a lot more hate because everybody has an opinion and everybody's a keyboard warrior at times. So let me remind you that anonymity is very dangerous, okay? Now, if a person who has an anonymous name is making fun of you with like a random picture of a dwarf or something, okay, not showing their original face, it's evident from that they don't want to be known. They don't want to be seen. They're fearful of being seen in some way. Maybe it's a pseudonym. It could be very personal to them, whatever it is. Whatever the case is, if you have someone anonymous making fun of you, understand that they're too scared to show themselves and talk to you one-on-one on camera like this, okay? Now, this is not the case with every anonymous person, obviously. Like, I've created some anonymous accounts at times when I was in my youth, and it's been fun, right? It's been for a purpose. But I'm saying this for a very specific reason, because anonymity creates a kind of distance away from actual humanity. You see, if we give ourselves a username like Jolie Goalie 529 or whatever, and we start making fun of someone, it's like we can't trace that back to the person. You see, so the thing is, start to notice that the anonymous aspect of this person, or the fact that they can't come on camera or they can't come face to face and have a conversation with you, and instead they're insulting you, just says something about them in the first place already. Okay. Second thing, if you're experiencing cyberbullying, I would highly recommend that you talk to other people about it. Okay. And if it gets very serious that they're threatening your life, talk to some authority about it, law enforcement or otherwise. Okay. If you feel like you want to end your life or something because of this, and some people do, I would highly recommend you talk to your psychiatrist about it, or a suicide hotline of some kind, okay? Because we can't let more people in this world become a victim of cyberbullying and them ending their lives. Like, it's gone too far now, right? Mental well-being right now, the loneliness, the isolation has become more. So people are constantly on social media judging themselves. And I don't know how many people that social media is tearing apart. Social media is supposed to be social, guys. Do you understand this? It's not anti-social media. You're not supposed to be using this media to make fun of others and roast them, and like, unless they're asking to be roasted, right? There's certain roast challenges or whatever, you're dissing somebody else. But at the end of the day, there's a respect there. Even in a rap battle, I used to rap battle back in the day. There was still a handshaking and a respect there. Even if it was text battling online, afterwards we'd be like, man, that was really badass. Like, you really deconstructed me. I took it really personally. You're really good there. You got me, right? The conscious breaking down of the ego was actually necessary in order for me to deconstruct my old self out of that competitive mindset into a constructive one. So let me remind you is that, yes, we have become a little bit sensitive in this generation, and I do understand that, but also understand that there are things at play here making us more sensitive. From the TV that we watch, from the things that we consume, all the way to the foods we consume as well. So let me remind you, okay? Let me just remind you that you got to lean on the people whose job it is to help you at this time. And if you can think of other people in this moment and not about you, it's going to be a life changer. And if you can explain to them, even if your psychiatrist is like, 50 years old, they have like 20 more years in their business, right? So you want to actually explain to them, even if they can't understand it, try your best to explain it to them, what you're going through, okay? Because it's not easy to describe what you are going through, but try to explain what you are going through to the best of your ability, because by doing that, you're also helping other people who might be facing a similar issue. If you are confronting your own trauma and your own issue based on these things, you are helping others as well. So understand that there is something called a block button, okay? Now, I've had this person, send me messages and be like, you're doing this crap. This looks like I was cooking one day and he's like, this looks like leftovers in my fridge or something like that. Like a silly comment, right? I'm not going to get offended. I was like, yeah, that's not really that funny, man, or something. I said something random back to this kid, right? I think his name is Ronald. Ronald, if you're listening to this, man, why? Why did you do that? First of all, you're 12 years old, Ronald, okay? You didn't need to do that, okay? So the thing is, first of all, let's acknowledge the fact, right, that this person, this kid, saw a post of me, saw that I was this successful person, saw that I was a successful coach, went out of his way to make fun of some random area in my life. Now, I know that that is within my refinement. Like, I didn't even need to write anything back to him. But the fact that I did shows that that is actually something that needs to be tweaked inside of me, because a trigger is just a spotlight for an area that you need to auto-correct. So thank you for that, actually, that comment, because it helped me to explore the areas in myself that are still shaky. And when I can look into that, I can actually correct it. Now, then what did he do? He shouted me out on his page, like, positive psychologist, you're not a very positive person, you're mean, blah, blah, blah. And he wrote like this long passage and he just kept writing it. And then after I blocked him, he went and messaged my friends and said, do you know this guy, Flowzone Academy? Do you know him? Well, I just want to know if you know him, because, and my friend was like, dude, who is this guy? Like, why are they messaging me all of a sudden, And so that is ridiculous, actually, because they're working extra hard to get back at you, to poke back at you, thinking that their light, that your light will shine on them and give them importance. Well, hey, that's one way to get importance, right? But it's not the right kind of importance, because it's hate. And hate has a frequency. It's like cursing somebody. My grandmother always used to tell me, don't say anything bad about somebody because it might just come true. All right? So the thing is, when we say hurtful and mean things, we're actually cursing other people. We're putting it out into the environment. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you say, even if it's online. And once you notice that what you are doing is unjust, is wrong, that if you had the same thing happen to you, you would probably crumble as well. So start to gain the most basic level of human equivalence and exchange, which is empathy. Empathy, just simply that. Okay? Maybe you would have been a lot stronger than how this person handled it. You don't know their mental health, their mental well-being, or their condition. You just don't. You simply don't know their reality and what's going on in their mind. So instead of being a rude, mean, arrogant person to them, think before you say something, because your words are extremely powerful. And we're at a time where we are living in a much more sensitive generation. So the fact that you think, hey, my words don't have any power, but you're still testing those weapons out on somebody, that's dangerous. That's extremely dangerous, because you're not only preventing them from having a good mental health or well-being, but you're actually not even assisting them. You see, the people who show you the most hate need the most love. The people who are showing you the most hate need the most love, and sometimes it's not your responsibility. Sometimes the block button is there for a reason. Sometimes you got to let them fix themselves and figure out what it is in themselves and maybe guide them in the right direction. Nowadays, when I try to see hate, I try and respond in a kinder way instead of just impulsively going with it, right? Because they are testing what is actually inside of me. You see, a man's character is tested by how he's being poked and prodded, or woman's, right? And Once you can understand that and you have this superpower, then you can know what to do with that superpower. And so, sure, there might be a hateful comment here and there. It's not for you. It's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them. The person who's judging you, it's more to do with the judge than the judgee. See what I'm saying? In the spiritual community, we would say, this is all a projection. Yes. Yes, it is. It is a projection, but try and understand that projection and learn more about them. Get curious about the person rather than being judgmental about the person. Get curious about them instead of judgmental about them. This is the big mindset shift and the tweak. So if we can look at cyberbullying simply as bullying, it's just on a different spectrum, right? One is on this kind of internet mass essence sending through databases and data centers across the world. Like I can make fun of someone here and then it reaches them somewhere else in the world. Like that's amazing, right? But at the same time, it's similar to just me insulting somebody to their face. Why? Because it has a frequency. It's a curse. So start to think before you speak, honestly. Like sometimes we'll say things at the heat of the moment, but really try and hold yourself accountable to what you say. Because your words create your world. And if you have hurt someone, apologize. Don't over-apologize, but apologize. This needs to be done. This needs to be said. And we need much more love, forgiveness, compassion, empathy in this world. And I just urge you as you watch this video to do that. If it's cool, if it's not cool, I don't care. It's cool that you made an attempt at least. And you're being a cool, kind person because of that. All right. So have an amazing day. May the flow be with you. Keep that aggressive, tender nature as a man. And keep that nurturing, strong presence as a woman. You know exactly what I'm talking about, guys. If we have too much of one and not the other, the world starts to become disintegrated. Disintegration. But when we become fully integrated, that's when the holistic nature of humanity truly begins. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.